The Volcrim have a unique way of waging war. As one of the only psionic races in the galaxy, they dislike waging war in the normal fashion. Rather, they gather a collection of champions together to create a mind construct to do battle with their chosen foe's mind construct. It is all very civilized and unique. They have even developed a piece of technology that allows their foes to do the same. These mind constructs are drawn from the strongest emotions of the champions. The Volcrim champions are trained from birth to focus their minds and hone their emotions: glory, passion, joy. Each champion embodies a single emotion to such a strong extent that they have a palpable aura. Most species assume that the technology the Volcrim shared was modified in some way to assure the Volcrim would always win. This was until the Volcrim encountered humanity. This was until the Volcrim were introduced to a concept so prevalent and so omnipresent that witnessing it manifest changed their very psyche. The war started out strangely, with the first declaration being accompanied by an invitation to the tournament being extended to all humanity. It took humanity a long while to understand just how the Volcrim waged war, and how to approach it. When the time came, humanity presented their champions: two philosophers, an old soldier with a haunted, gaunt look, and a ferociously scarred woman barely into adulthood. What the Volcrim first brushed off as a young species attempt to cheat the game was only revealed after the fight had started. A large area was cleared away. The two groups of champions stood or sat across from one another, ready for the signal. The Volcrim champions linking hands and minds to project their warrior construct onto the field. A mighty Soul, an insectoid predator from their homeworld, almost 15 meters long and 5 meters high, a mouth made of serrated ringed teeth. Most of the Volcrim watching recoiled in mild fear. Seeing such a large Soul often meant death. In the earlier years of Volcrim evolution, such terror was almost built into them. The humans, however, had no such mighty warrior, no titanic predator beast, or even, as was common, some idealized warrior variant of their species. What stood before the human champions was a simple figure, tall, thin. It carried no weapon but a farming tool, a scythe. Dressed in black and ragged robes, no creature could see his face. The only thing to indicate eyes were pits, where the shadows darkened. The mind construct was not huge or threatening, but some deep-set, primordial fear was switched on in every creature watching. This was not the fear of a mighty predator or the terror of unrushing failure, but a deep-set institutional fear that froze all onlookers in their seats, the fear of death. No galactic species had yet bested that unassailable wall to the afterlife. None had seen beyond it, and none had come back from it, and here, moving slowly, implacably across the field of combat, was the incarnation of it. The Volcrim champions attempted to defeat it, slamming titanic claws down upon it, charging it with the bulk of the Soul, even attempting to consume it. Each and every time the attack simply passed through the figure. Finally, the figure raised its scythe and swung. The universe stretched. There was a sound not unlike a wet finger across glass, and then the sound of a wire snapping. The Volcrim mind construct vanished, defeated in a single swing of this robed figure's weapon. Then came the noises of horror and fear. The Volcrim champions were on the floor, collapsed. Medical specialists rushed towards them, both human and Volcrim. The champions were dead. Humanity's champions approached, detached from their device, yet their construct remained. There was much confusion. The scientists and Volcrim mind researchers checked the device. It was shut off. The mind construct remained for some other reason. What happened next is a topic of continued interpretation from both Volcrim and human scholars, but what is known is as follows. The cloaked figure looked around, the pits of shadows searching. They alighted upon a human soldier. The figure tapped an hourglass at his waist, then leveled a skeletal finger at the human. The black-robed figure lifted his skeletal hand and made a gesture to represent smoking before shaking his head and moving away from the group. To this day, none are sure what the humans created or possibly summoned. But what is known is two things. Humanity and the Volcrim signed a peace accord and swore never to fight again, a treaty that still holds to this day. And whenever a human or Volcrim die, there is a tall, gaunt figure in a black robe holding a scythe there, awaiting their passing, ready to guide them into whatever exists beyond that black void of death.